So this is also from Pro Football Focus, ranking the easiest schedules of 2023. And they have the Browns as the 10th easiest schedule. Projected win total, 10. Easiest game, they say Week 16 against Houston. Hardest game, Week 1 against Cincinnati. Browns don't have any easy start or end to the season, facing the Bengals in both Week 1 and Week 18. However, an early bye in Week 5 that could set up well for them for the second half of the season. If Deshaun Watson can get back to performing at a high level, the Browns may do well. And again, every time somebody mentions Browns doing well, it always comes back to the quarterback. And that's fair. That's what the position in the NFL is all about.
Yeah, for sure. I think, the Browns have had a great offseason. They did well with the draft, with the limited picks they had. But it all, like you said, Dave, it all goes back to one thing. Can Deshaun Watson get back to form, get back to that top 10 level quarterback play? Like Quincy said earlier in the show, like Deshaun wasn't terrible, but he also wasn't great. But the fact that he looked average in those 6 games after being off for nearly 2 years, I think bodes well for Deshaun Watson getting back on track and leading this Browns team back to the playoffs, hopefully this upcoming season. But at the end of the day, it all lands on whether number 4 can get back on track.
What do you think they can do to help that? What unlocks Deshaun Watson? What gets him back to that level, do you think?
I think it's the downfield throwing and the fact that what they've added in the draft, adding Cedric Tillman, who is a guy that gets down the field despite running 4.5 speed. He's a guy that finds that high point down the field, getting the ball, and adding another downfield threat in Elijah Moore, who didn't have the best start to his career with the Jets, but you see that talent on display in flashes, despite having Zach Wilson throwing the ball to him. I think all the tools are there for Deshaun Watson to succeed. It's up to him at this point to go out and execute the offense according to what Kevin Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt, the game plan is.
Yeah, and I think they're going to find ways to get, for lack of a better term, easier yards. So in other words, Elijah Moore, if a guy's lining up 5 yards off, and get him the ball and put the pressure on the defense to make plays. They didn't really have guys that were high-level playmakers in space, and they've kind of added a couple.
Yeah, for sure. I think Elijah Moore is a guy that can, break away from defenders because he's got elite speed, and I think that opens things up for everybody else. I think you can't really double up a receiver, hypothetically, in this offense because you have Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's been consistent his first 3 seasons, Elijah Moore, who has a, breakaway speed, and then you have David Njoku in the middle at the tight end position. So, it's going to be hard with all these weapons for defenses to try to game plan against. And then you have to add in the factor of Nick Chubb in the backfield. It's up to Deshaun at this point, but all the talent's there for him to go out and have an elite year.